But the people you say who are going to college to get education, they're not getting any better. The education hasn't gotten any better.
No, it's pretty clear that college has gotten a lot worse. And part of it, I mean, her presupposition, first of all, I think just right out of the starting block, she was she's giving this impression that a college degree is a guaranteed financial security to your future.
Right.
Which that's really atrocious that you would think that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like the idea that I can sell you this piece of paper that will promise you a salary, that's not the way work works. That's not the way jobs work. Right. And along with that is this idea that if you don't have that piece of paper, you can't go out and work and you can't go out and be financially successful, which is just completely untrue.
Well, how do you get people at your college? Because everybody believes that you do know.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I promise that what I'm giving them is an education, not a guaranteed job. And education is actually, this is a thing that has happened with colleges. We've overpromised, and then in overpromising, we're no longer delivering what a college education used to be, which was actually a far deeper thing. So we overpromise by saying, you get this degree, it will get you this job. And that's how all college recruitment works now. Here's the list of salaries for different vocations. Here's the degree that gets you that job. And this is how you get this degree, you get that job. That's how you talk people into taking out student loans. I mean, it's a ridiculous idea to get an 18-year-old to take out massive debt. And I've said this before, it's the only loan you can qualify for by showing that you can't pay it back. So how do you get a
that's our education system reasoning too, right? It's like,
how do you get somebody to sign up for something like that? Well, you tell them that if you get this degree, then you'll get this job, which means this salary and your future's all promised to you. It doesn't ever work out like that. It's not nearly as certain as that. But that's what you tell people. But in doing that, we've radically cheapened what a college education actually is. We made it into this small little thing, which is vocational certification, rather than this much deeper thing, which was an education. That is teaching you how to think and how to be a better human, and particularly how to be someone who knows how to glorify God in all aspects of your life. That's what education really ought to be pointing people towards. And vocation is one piece of that, but it's a small piece of that compared to everything else.
Why is the federal government so concerned about education? Particularly, I mean, they got high schools, I get that, K through 12, that makes sense to me, right?
Yeah.
But college particularly, like they are really digging in and trying to cover the debt of all this. What is the play between is there something that's inside of the college education that the government needs, or what's?
I think so. I think that it's the link between your college degree and the economy. Because the government has come to believe that it's in charge of the American economy, that it's the government's job to regulate the economy, and then the door into the economy, if they can make it clear that the door into the economy is the college degree, and they own that, then they own the whole financial system, and they own the economy.
If you own the entrance, you own everything that follows
exactly.
from there.
I mean, it's so weird that our government believes that I can shut economy down for COVID. Right. I'm just going to shut everything down and then I'll open it back up with no consequences. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that authority belongs there.
Do you think?
Oh man,
I was going to ask something else, and then you just said that, and you've been the New St. Andrews recently did this big ed ad, and it's connected. They're the big government connected to big ed.
Yeah.
What's that connection?
Well, so basically we're riffing off of the whole too big to fail mentality that we saw in the financial crisis, where you have certain industries where you say, this used to be an independent industry, but then it becomes so essential to American life that if that was to go down, we believe it would be too catastrophic for America. So the government needs to step in and artificially support it. But what happens is when the government steps in to artificially support it, now the government steps in to actually own it.
Control it.
It's a government entity now, because they're controlling it.
Because now their budget is built off of government intervention and support.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the way it is for most colleges and universities.
Right.
We absolutely depend on the federal government and the funding from the federal government to stay alive. And so now the federal government has complete control over that whole industry.
And so now you can have a president come in and say, like, what did Obama do? Like the Title IX applies to transgenderism.
With your colleague letters,
Yeah, and you have to let boys into women's bathrooms, just like President Biden said, actually, in that earlier clip to Mr. Potato Head. And now you have, and if your budget is built off of all these Pell Grants and government loans, how are you going to say no?
Right.
Especially if you're a Christian college or a conservative college that believes in biblical morals.
And this is the thing that people don't realize. You understand with your large state university, okay, this is probably government funding that's holding up. You've got a huge chunk of their budget is from their state allocation. And then inside tuition, you've got federal money through the Pell Grants and student loans. But most of your private Christian colleges, they don't have that state money, but they have an increased slice from the federal money. So private colleges take more from the federal government than
even the
than
state
public
schools.
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh. Whoa.